Hey guys, welcome back to the Gardenista Pharmacy. It's Priscilla here. I am going to give you guys a February pharmacy tour. So don't judge my yard, but here we go. We're going to start from the front, work our way around the side, the back, and then the other side. All right, here we go. Alrighty. So here we got this L shape here, and that's mostly blackberries and garlic. So there's 3 blackberry plants, 1 small apple, and then in between the blackberries we have garlic. So got a pile of wood chips here that I'm still going to be distributing throughout. Here is an herb bed where I do have right here, it's a grapevine cutting. I've got sage, got oregano, actually thyme, oregano, rosemary that looks like it's dying down. I gotta give that a good trim. Some more rosemary here. On the other side of the rosemary I've got lavender, and then in here I was growing what do they call them, the tree kale, but it looked like it died back. Here I have a mint patch and 2 honeyberries. And if we zoom in and look a little close, we can see the mint coming in. And if I take you a little bit closer, I know I saw it yesterday. I saw some green in here for the honeyberry because I thought it had died out. See that green bud right there? Green bud. So spring is approaching. So I'm going to take some of the wood chips that's over there. I'm going to cover this up, clean that bed up. So in this pot I've got a grapevine, more mint, grapevine, and then it's just another view of the blackberries, the L shape, and I'm going to do another similar L shape on the other side. In the middle here I have, on either side I have, right here is a cherry bush, and on the end right there is another cherry bush. So I got rosemary behind it, and then I have blueberry behind that, blueberry in the middle, blueberry on the end, and on the other side is rose bushes. So here's some more blackberry. So it's blackberry right there, then a mulberry, blackberry, blackberry. So here in the front I have some echinacea. This is a whole row of strawberries that my lovely child is walking through. Max, come out. Strawberry plants. And then I do have a blueberry one right here, a blueberry one right here, another tiny blueberry one right there, and then another one right there. And then I've got an elderberry plant right there, another elderberry plant right there. So this is the one, if you guys follow me on Facebook, where I was selling some elderberries, that's the one, that's the elderberry bush that I took the cuttings from. So you can come back and see how tall that is. And I got about 50 cuttings from maybe 4 branches. So I can afford to trim that down a little bit more. So don't mind my neighbor's dog. So here we've got a nice lovely tree line going down the side of the house to the backyard. So this one is either pear or Asian. In between I've got rose bushes. This one, I meant to say either a pear or apple, not Asian. So that one's an apple. That one's an apple. This one is a pear, a golden rosette pear. All right. This is a plum. That is a plum. This is an Asian pear. Then that's a peach. Then another Asian pear next to it. Still got some kale popping in between and a rose bush in between. So all of this, which I do need to clean up, are my grapevines. 8 different varieties of grapes. And then usually in front I will do watermelon. So here's that other Asian pear. It's a rose. In the pot is a cherry tree. Then this is another Asian pear. I do need to come and trim. This is where I normally will do the rest of the watermelon, and it's my raspberry patch, which also needs to be trimmed up. So this here is my lovely peach tree that I really need to prune. I don't know if you guys can see this, but high cult, all of that. You see, I don't know if you can kind of see that some of it's like a lighter color, some of it's a darker color. All that light color is last year's growth. That's crazy. Very, actually this is a nectarine, not even a peach. That's very crazy. All right, so this one is this peach tree here, I learned about it from watching Lead Farmer 73. It is an Indian blood peach. It's one of my smaller ones. It's another peach, and then in the pot is another cherry. All right, so behind the nectarine is usually where I would grow my asparagus patch, and that's an apple tree right next to it. You can see some of the asparagus I still left that you gotta trim down, but we're starting the winter cleanup in preparation for spring. I've got 2 lavender plants here still. I've got a peach tree here, and this peach tree once, was it last year, the year before, was in a pot, and it looked like it was on its deathbed, and I put it in the ground, and this is how it looks now. It's another peach tree back there in the corner. There's an apple tree right behind this other peach tree. This is a cold hardy orange tree. It's more of a bitter orange. That is another pear tree that I had in a pot that looked like it was on its deathbed, but now it is looking really good. All right, so here is a goji berry, which I'm gonna probably put in with the chickens. Here is my red delicious. Looks a little rough, but that's how it's looked since I got it, honestly. This is where I had my bees last year. I'm probably going to move that over here and then move another one over there and probably put some bee balm and bee loving plants in between the two. So I was told by a local apiary that you should always have at least 2 beehives, so in case there's one that's struggling, which mine was struggling, I believe my queen and the bees swarmed, and there was not a replacement queen bee to keep the hive going. So this year I will actually have 2. So here I believe is a pear tree. Here I believe is another pear tree. Here is a cherry. Then there's another cherry. And there's another cherry over there. Y'all can tell I really love cherries. So everywhere that you see this mulch here, I intend, and don't mind the patches, because this is where I had the meat chickens foraging as I was raising them in the summertime. And what I'm going to actually do, before I finish that statement, everywhere where you see the mulch is where I intend to grow. Even over here, this is the tractor that I had the meat chickens in. All of this I'm going to utilize as growing space. Even over there on the side where Max is, where the 2 peach trees are, on the side there's like another little bush area. But back to the grass. Hi Colt, I still see you watching me. Back to the grass. I am actually going to plant clover and creeping thyme in these patches here. So you'll have the grass, and I'll probably do a little bit of ryegrass as well, to give the birds, when I have them foraging on the grass again, a little bit more nutrients and variety as they are pecking in the grass. But what I'm also going to have to remember to do is not leave them in one spot for too long, because this is what they do if you do. But it's an easy fix, and now that spring is starting to show and grass is starting to peek out a little bit more, I can go ahead and I can rake up that dirt, put the seeds down, water it periodically. It's just as long as we don't get a real cold snap, then that area should be good. Here is where I have the chickens, and I just had them out, so I just kind of chased them back into their coops. And then in the previous, nope, I don't know if I did post it. I'm going to start that chicken composting system. They're already starting to work, so I kept it over here. And They're scratching at it. I did put some over there as well, and they scratched at it, ate it, and then I covered it up. So this I'll end up covering up as well. So I'll give them 2 patches because they're not integrating very well. They're still pecking and fighting and having their pecking order. So kind of keeping them separate for a little bit until I'm ready to actually deal with them. Here is another cherry tree. And then you can see that's where my compost bins are. I just actually finished pruning my cherries. Prune that cherry. I pruned the 2 pears. And I actually pruned some of the overhang from my neighbor's yard. And then back over this way. So I've got rose bushes over here as well. I've got potatoes that's going to be growing in this little corner here. And then I still have a little bit of collard greens from in the fall that are still a little bit of green. But yeah, I intend to have all of this covered in lovely food. I don't anticipate, or I don't plan on leaving any open space. I want to maximize as much as I can grow here this season. So I've got fig here. I actually cut that down. I've got 2 more figs here. I made cuttings out of that one to be sold. Got 2 more here. I don't want to necessarily cut these yet because there was some winter damage, as these aren't as cold hardy as the Chicago fig. Then I've got hazelnut, more garlic. I've extended this bed out. So hazelnut. I've got a josta berry and a pomegranate, and I know a lot of it looks dead. And then down there got a lilac. So that is all. And if you guys want to continue to see the progress, hit that subscribe button, notification button, and tune in for future videos. Thanks for taking the tour with me, and see you guys soon.